just kind of sitting around now and thinking how I'm gonna like what I want to do, how do I want to address the exhaust, and I'm looking at probably just gonna end up doing a whole bunch of work and getting everything done. Um, it's gonna be a little while down the road until basically I can actually afford it. The one thing I'm gonna address obviously is gonna be my misfire in cylinder four because I need to figure out what's up with that. The EGR valve, I'm not too terribly worried because it's basically, I mean, my car's not breathing right, so that's why it's like shaking and stuttering. But um, I mean, really, right now, my only option at this point would be to replace the EGR valve, and I don't have that kind of money. Like that's too much to deal with right now because most of the auto shops around here, it's like $230 plus to get just the valve. That's not even like the full hoses and everything. It's just the valve, and I've got three hairline cracks in the hosing. So I mean, like this, at this point, I'd rather just get a couple little chunks of steel and cover the holes, delete my EGR valve completely, and just go get it tuned. Because basically, my my check engine light will stay on if I do an EGR delete unless I get it tuned to get it taken out. So basically, what it's wanting to do is it's wanting to go through that, and if I don't have the EGR, then it's basically telling the signal like, hey, your EGR is not here. So, um, I'm not that worried about that because it's like I said, it's an emissions thing, and I'm sorry, but unless my state all of a sudden decided they wanted to start doing, um, you know, checks and stuff like that, my car's not gonna be an issue with that. Not worrying about passing it. My car will go through no problems until I take my car out to California or something like that. Then that's where I would be in trouble. But I don't think I'm going to California anytime soon. Even if then, my car, personally, in my opinion, can't make that drive right now just because the condition it's in. So it's not even a thought unless it's on the back of a truck or on a trailer or something like that. It's the only way it's getting to California. Um, but it's I don't see it as that big of a deal of an issue to deal with that. Like I said, I just want to find out why cylinder four is not firing. That's the only thing I care about. Or well, it's firing but it has a misfire in it, and that's why it struggles a little bit every once in a while. Um, I figured my exhaust might be the reason it's shaking and rattling because it's not hung on there properly. But I've got it tightened up pretty well, and at this point, if it shakes, it's not an extreme like it was, but it still has a little bit of like a shake idle in it. So, like I said, I went and had this code scanned, came up with the EGR valve, of course, and then the misfire. That misfire more than likely is the whole reason it's even choking right now. Um, just because it's not, like I said, it's not breathing properly, and that's the issue. But if there's a misfire, that's the bigger problem. And if that breathe issue is the reason it's misfiring, then yeah, I'll address that. But if not, then I'm not that worried about it. Um, just because if the breathing basically is not the issue, then I don't care. I just want to get the EGR valve deleted at that point. Like I said, get tuned, get that taken out of the system completely, and not even be in the computer. Um, but like I said, with the misfire, odds are it's a spark plug issue, or the coil pack's going out. And I've been wanting to get new coil packs anyways. I just didn't feel like dishing out $80 each because I've got three. So I mean, you look at that; it's basically $200 worth, and it's not worth it right now. Spark plugs and spark tubes that needed badly. Those were definitely bad. My spark plugs were all sorts of just chunked. They were burned and destroyed and everything else, and you could tell. And they probably hadn't been replaced since the car came off the factory floor. So I got those done. I probably still need to do them. The other one I hadn't gotten to that yet. Uh, my Monte Carlo I probably still need to get to as well. Those are going to be a pain because the downside about the Monte Carlo is the way the engine sits is not straight up. It's sideways, kind of like an import, and that drives me up a wall. I can't stand imports. I've worked on too many. Like I said, I'm helping my buddy rebuild a 240, and that's killing me. I helped my buddy work on his Honda Civic. That was insanity. I haven't helped him with the 350Z. He's done all that by himself. Um, but then I helped somebody with a Mazda. Oh boy, yeah, that one was the Mazda was interesting. It still needs some work, and I'm hoping at some point I can eventually get to that for them because it just, I know they talked about getting a new car, but until that happens, I'd like to at least help them get it running properly because it needs new rear struts. It probably needs a new front strut at some point because of the accident it was in, but I don't think that's an issue at all. It's not causing any problems. The only thing that's bad right now is those rear struts because it's letting the wheels bounce too much, and it could eventually damage the rear end. And if you let it go too long, so. But I told him personally, I think it's just the bushings. I don't think it's even the strut. I think the bushings are just bad. I can look at the struts, find out what's up, but um, right now it's not that bad because it's an in-town car and gets them around, so it's not too big a deal. Um, not driving it out of state or whatever. So, um, but for me, like dealing with dealing with my car, though, like I said, there's that misfire is my biggest concern, and finding out what it is going to be my big thing. So I'm hoping I can figure out if it's spark plug, coil pack, spark tube. It could just be a loose connection in there. The spark plug might not be completely tightened up, even though I went through and I tightened them all up and made sure that they were tightened down and torqued down right. It could be a gapping issue on a spark plug. I might end up pulling out cylinder fours and finding out what's up. Um, because if that's the problem, then that makes a whole lot more sense of why it's misfiring. If it's a gap or something like that. But I thought, it's not killing me, and that car is probably getting ready to be put back on the sideline anyways. I've just been driving around because I haven't been driving my other one. I haven't been driving Monte Carlo around because I was just saving it right now. I don't need to drive it as much, and I personally rather have my car because it doesn't have a massive exhaust leak that comes into the cabin like the Monte Carlo does. Monte Carlo's horrible exhaust leak and it sucks. Filters still need to be replaced, I'm sure, even though the mechanic we took it to was supposed to do that, but um, I had no say over that. I wasn't allowed to basically do anything or touch anything, and it went to the shop, and of course, the shop that we took it to was corrupt, so, but there's nothing I can do about that, so, um, I don't know. I'm gonna not get on that tangent right now because I could rant for God knows how long on that, just because I don't like that shop, and actually the auto shop I went to, they told me I could go talk to that shop, and I was like, yeah, I'm not allowed back in there. I've basically been escorted out because I wanted to take the car to get a second opinion, and basically he was ticked off because he wasn't getting his money, and he basically like getting mad at me saying like I don't know anything about cars. I'm sitting here like, dude, I know more than you do, and I'm younger than you, and I guarantee you that I could tell you if this car really had that problem. He's telling me it needed a head gasket, and I was like, there's no way because I've dealt with head gaskets before. Back in the old truck we used to have that, unfortunately, thanks to my sister, fireballed my motor. Um, and I unfortunately lost that truck, but nothing I could do about it. But my Monte Carlo never showed any signs of needing it, and I was like, well, dude, if it needed it, it would show like clearly. I mean, yeah, it could be wearing out. I understand that, but if it's not wearing out to where it's causing problems, don't worry about it. Like, he turned around and told me that they did a fluid change and that there's signs of it. I'm like, okay, where's the fluid? But they'd already dumped it. Like, they didn't even let me see it or nothing like that. So I was like, okay, yeah, you're obviously BSing me. So I took it out to my uncle. My uncle's guy for like, the guy that works at my uncle's shop been doing head gasket changes for probably 30 plus years. And he said, it has a distinct smell, and he didn't even smell it when he walked up to the car. So I'm like, yeah, I didn't think so. But other than that, the car really has no problems other than just that exhaust leak. And like I said, probably the cabin filters need to be flushed out or need to be changed. Probably ought to do a fluid flush on the car too, just to make sure. But what are you gonna do when I have a stupid idiot handling the car until it's in my hands now? So, my grandparents understand I want to take it to a shop, and I get that. But now that I've kind of got more control of the car, anything needs to be done, I'd rather do it myself or something like that, or take somebody I actually know is going to do proper work and not turn around and BS me out of crap and try to BS me charges like that. So, um, stuff like that. It irks me when people turn around and try to tell me crap like that when I'm sitting there like, dude, I'm not young and dumb like you think I am. The mechanic that turned around and told me he needed head gas, it's probably in like his 70s, probably getting close to his 80s. So I'm like, dude, you're trying to get money. Like that's all you're trying to do is pay your overhead, trying to get money to keep your shop open, even though you get business in here left and right, and I know you're overcharging people. So, I personally don't like him. I take my uncle. My uncle also lets me pay out problems. So, the fact that he knows me and everything, he's cool with me being able to basically finance my stuff out, and I'm not having to stress about having the money right then and there. So, and that's the thing too is like I've got parts I need to go pick up, I need to go get from him at some point to probably look at trying to fix my car if my other idea doesn't work out. So, it's just stuff like that that just annoys me, and it's having some guy that sits there and thinks that just because he owns a shop, he knows more than I do. I mean, bear in mind, yeah, there are people that I know will know more than I do. They'll know inside and out of every little thing and stuff like that. And it like I get that if they actually do, but this dude's just a joke and a half, and he never knew what he's talking about. Like he even tried to tell like my dad that he doesn't even know what he's talking about. I'm like, dude, don't. My dad used to work on his own stuff all the time too with his dad, so um, it doesn't make sense to me the fact that he's sitting here trying to BS that. So, but like I said, I'm looking at what I want to do with my car and how I want to address this and what route I'm going to take to fix it. So we'll see how that works out. Right now, full exhaust system. It's going to run me a lot. So I'm not necessarily looking forward to that, but it's something that eventually needs to be done. And basically my EGR valve, like I said, is bad. My cat's going out, which I knew my catalytic converter is probably done anyways because they're good for like maybe 10 years. And it's a 2002. It's 2019. That it's way past probably need to be replaced. So, when I address that, it's basically the cat's gonna get pulled. The EGR valve may or may not get deleted. I don't know. I'm gonna do some more research, look into it, talk to a couple of my buddies that know a lot more about probably doing a delete than I will. That's the thing. I will talk to somebody that I think knows more than I do. And like I said, I'm gonna go from there and find out what they say and see if it's a good idea or not. Because like I said, it's just an emission sling, so we don't really necessarily need it. Not here at least. But the catalytic converter, I can do a cat delete in my state and not get in trouble for it because, like I said, they don't do inspections and stuff like that. I know somebody that did, and they had to go in and put the stock system back in their car, like catalytic converter, EGR valve, stuff like that, like stock exhaust. And as soon as they got it done, getting it passing the inspection, they just took it all back off. So, and honestly, I would just do the same thing because it's a car, and I get the whole emissions thing, but it's just in my opinion. I think it's dumb. So, but like I said, I'm gonna do some more research, kind of get into it a little bit more, find out what all I want to do, and then we'll go from there. And it's gonna be a little bit of a road trip to get to there to where I can start doing all this, but in the end, it's gonna be worth it because it's something I want to do, and I've been wanting to do this car, and I need to do this car. So, but anyways, guys, I'm gonna hop off. Hope you guys had a great night. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell for every time I upload. Share the video with anybody and everybody, guys. Later.